Lend your ears, lend your hands, lend your movement, anything you can. Come to teach, come to be taught, come in the likeness and the image of God. 'Cause you can be like that, with all that humbleness and all that respect. All
I'm
the
sure that most people in the
power
room
invested in me.
have already come across fluoride and obviously the dangers and what it's about and all the rest of it. There is a tactic afoot here with what we're doing, and we actually have got a class action in relation to this particular topic as well. So, fluoride, it's good for your teeth, it protects your teeth, and you should definitely trust your government. That's what they tell us, and that is the stock standard answer if you start talking about fluoride. And a lot of people will just roll their eyes about fluoride. Oh God, we've gone through this before, and the scientific evidence says it's not bad for you and there's no issue. So we go on with that. You can either believe that or you can't. You know, if you do, you probably had too much fluoride. But if you don't, and you believe it's a neurotoxic poison, and it really is a deadly toxin that is in your water supply. So if we know, if you listen to Sam, that water is life and we're all made up of essentially 98% water, and our cells, our blood, everything to do with it, you wonder why they would put a fluorotoxic poison into the water system unless they had a specific design or an agenda to achieve a result, and that result is to dumb us down. I mean, I think that one of the most important factors that you need to take into consideration, if water is life, why can't you put tap water into a fish bowl and the fish lives? Like, if it can't support life in any way, shape or form, nothing lives in tap water. It dies. So, conversely, when you put it inside you, what do you think it's designed to do? And why is it designed to do that? You can go into the conspiracy theories as long as you want, Agenda 21, all of the stuff that goes with it. But the fact is it's quite simple. Fluoride is poison. So, from our perspective, if we didn't at least raise awareness about fluoride, because now it's gone on for so long, people are just going through the whole the apathy stage, and then they also get disheartened, and what can you do about it? It's only one person, and we have tried class actions before, and I don't know the specifics of the cases, but I was talking to the MP who was here today, and one of the cases has failed miserably, which is probably the way it was designed to do, because once you have a failure of a class action in relation to fluoride or anything else that the government's doing, that then becomes a precedent, and anyone who then follows through is essentially throwing good money after bad because the government won. And that's the rationale of most of these types of things. I think Paul's Seals mentioned earlier on about coal seam gas and lock the gate and infiltration, all those sorts of things, and that is a definite possibility. It's not with us, by the way. There is zero. If you actually tried to infiltrate us, I think that Stu would probably sort that out pretty quickly given the background and who he knows and all the rest of it. But we're in a position of, we believe that we won't be infiltrated, and the barrister and the law firm that we're dealing with at the moment is very, very bullish in where we're going with this. So I'll just do some really basic stuff. If you haven't ever investigated fluoride or you haven't ever thought to go any further with it, I'm just going to bring a few things to your attention now. Particularly if you've got children. I mean, and I do, as, almost, I'm sure most of us have, or if you don't and you have nephews or nieces or young kids, they're very, very susceptible to this stuff. It's not coincidental that it's a neurotoxic poison and it's in your water and it's in you. It's in every one of us here. They're banned at 98% of Europe. That's got to tell you something. So hydrofluorosilicic acid. I can't walk out and point, but if you take the danger, poison sign and the skull and crossbones and the warning and the do not take it internally literally, then it's a problem. Okay, so then it goes, if the material spilled or released, neutralised with lime and disposed with calcium fluorosilicic waste, goes on, special protection information, respirators, you can't breathe it, go right down, skin, copious amounts of water for 15 minutes, more fluoride, internal contact your physician, consult the physician in the event of ingestion is incurred, and give copious and repeated amounts of water or a weak solution of calcium chloride. The only thing I like about that page is the calcium chloride, because I've actually been investigating, like, wait, if that is actually an antidote or something that's given, then maybe that could help us remove it out of the water system. So that's sort of where we started to go with it. This is another version of it, sodium fluoride. You note the skull and crossbones. Again, it's pretty simple to realise it is a poison. It is undeniable. How they lost the case on that point is beyond me. But given the game's rigged, given that you would be suing the Crown or the state of Queensland or Victoria, and they're all paid by the same people who pay the judges, and everything goes further and further, and it's it's financial joinder. So the deck is stacked before you even get into court. So we've decided to rethink this and have another crack at it. This was, I figured, if you go back from the last page where it talks about the poison, don't ingest, don't put it in your skin, look at what we do with it. So I put this on there because a lot of people probably don't realise when you get up in the morning and you have a little bit of water left in your kettle, and you turn it on or you fill it up, it's concentrated fluoride in there. It's designed to stay in your kettle. So what happens is it compounds and gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So if you do a week of that, you can obviously imagine what your cup of tea is going to have in it on Saturday, Sunday morning. So, and I love my cup of tea in the morning, but I get up and get filtered water, non-fluoridated, and I tip the water out and go through the whole process as well. So I just put that as an FYI because I think it's really important that people get that this stuff is designed to kill you. Oh, go back. So bottled water. I didn't realise, I went out to lunch the other day. I don't drink soft drink. I don't drink anything within reason. If I'm hungover, I'll drink. I might have a sip of Coke. I still can't break that habit every now and again, but I don't tell Samantha Backman that. For obvious reasons. So, but I went out and I was buying San Pellegrino or, the Panna there and all the rest of it, and I checked it out on the side of the bottle. It's a hefty dose of fluoride. In fact, it's a stronger dose of fluoride in your San Pellegrino than it is in your water, in your tap water. So people will gladly drink San Pellegrino over tap water, taste and everything else that goes with it, but it's a ruse, of course. Then you've got things like Evian. This particular ad caught my eye. I was wondering how long it took them to train the kid to stand there on skates like that, but the main point is this bit. Did everyone notice this? It's backwards. Evian backwards is naive. They tell us all the time, this is not a coincidence. Okay, you look at all the stuff and all the coincidences with 9/11 or the coincidences with, there's always coincidences going on, And, this is just a coincidence. Really easy to do that and let that go as a coincidence because, it just might be funny, that being the case, but it's not. They are very, very specific about targeting us and doing what they're doing in these types of slides and doing what they're doing with fluoride in our water. Now, don't forget, Roman talked about how he uses rainwater and his garden thrives. But when he uses town water, it just survives. Again, it's clearly evident in that example alone that town water is not meant to sustain life. I wouldn't suggest you put a goldfish in it, but if you did drop a goldfish in it, it's dead in, minutes. Okay, anything that's got smart in it, don't believe it at all, ever. Okay, smart, again, this is the terminology they talk about. Smartphone, smart this, smart that, smart water, smart everything. It's designed to trick you, to get you to go there. Okay, and you stick someone like Jennifer Aniston on, and of course everyone buys it and thinks it's wonderful. And I love the way she's, shh, don't tell anyone. It's poison. So, if you've never worked out or actually investigated and looked where fluoride comes from, research it. It will make you sick to your stomach when you realise what they get, and then they just walk over and they just tip it into your water supply. They tell you it's good for your teeth. Got a quick question for you. How long is the water that goes into your mouth on your teeth? 4 or 5 hours? Well, what if you swallow it? So if you actually put it on your teeth, how quickly does it get through the enamel to the tooth itself? Well, it doesn't really, because that's what the enamel's for, supposedly, and it's meant to stop things getting into your teeth. So it goes into your system, you ingest it. 99.9% or whatever it is, the scientific thing is, they give us the statistics, but the fact is, it's ingested. It's in your body, it's in your bloodstream, you water your vegetables, it goes into your food, it goes into obviously you have a shower, it goes into your hair. What happens when your skin gets warm? Okay, it heats up, your pores open up, largest organ on your body is your skin, absorbs it in there. So the fact that they tell you it's about your teeth is a joke. They're telling you this because it's a scam, and they want to tell you the most unbelievable thing to get you to believe it, because the hardest thing to believe usually is the truth, because there's so much lie. You make the lie huge, and people believe it. They think it's good for your teeth. So it's not. It goes into your body, into your skin, into your nervous system, and it attacks your pineal gland. These are just a couple of short pictures off the internet just to give you a basic understanding. If you're not sure what it is, it calcifies the pineal gland, and essentially you're a zombie. And that's where they're going with it. They want fluoride is designed, if you believe these types of things, and I'll show you the next screen. I always put that up there. I put that up there because of the girl in the bottom right corner. Yeah, it's Mark's old girlfriend. So this was what it was designed for. This was originally what fluoride is designed for. And then it is amazing to me that they can put that into our water and then tell us it's good for us. Yeah. Actually, Ben Stewart come and stayed at my house, for our house, my wife and I, for quite a few days actually, on a couple of occasions. And we had this discussion, and Ben was the one who raised it. He said, listen, because we were talking about fluoride and this class action, that's actually what motivated me to talk to Mark and get this thing going, is we need to do something. And Ben said, look, if the government was so worried about your health and keen to do something for you, why don't they alkalise the water and put vitamins and minerals in it? Because your teeth would be fine, of course. It doesn't make sense. They stick poison in it, and we are all told that poison is good for us. Well, actually, not in large doses, but little doses it's okay, because it won't kill you too quickly for them to go and have anyone to be held accountable for your death. Okay, but it's killing us all slowly, every one of us. These are just a couple of really quick quotes. This is the past president of the AMA. You can read that. I won't go through all that, but it's a corrosive poison. They tell us this every time. They can't just go out and slaughter us, because that's against their belief. What they have to do is kill us slowly. And then when you get cancer, because you will get cancer, because this stuff causes cancer, then they're going to stick into chemo and radiation therapy and all the other stuff that they do, which ultimately just finishes you off. Okay, so there's got to be a solution to get out of it. This is the slide I was talking about. All of that stuff, whether or not it's fact or not, it's has to be. It's on Facebook. So that's the stuff. But look, getting down to the bottom, one of the biggest things is Hitler put it into fluoridated the water for the Jewish concentration camps and all the rest of it. Not getting into that. If you watch Max Egan's talk at the first Freedom Summit, that may or may not be true. The fact is, though, that it's the same ingredient in Prozac. So they put it in Prozac. So if you don't drink enough water, well, we'll put it in your pills. This was an interesting one. I put this in here for a specific reason. With it looks like green and red. I thought, red is fluoridated or non-fluoridated. Green is okay, and then white is obviously there's nothing going on there. Not the case. The legend down the bottom says 0.7 parts per million is the green bits. 0.3 to 0.7 or less than 0.7 is the lighter green bits there. You've got the red bits, less than 0.3 parts per million, and white is not available. So they don't tell you what's in those sections. Look at the sections that are white. Who inhabits most of that territory? Originals. Okay, so they don't even tell us how badly fluoridated that water is. So, and again, hidden in plain sight. You just have to search for this stuff. Go to the government website. It's all over. If you're looking for example, the stuff we talked about with, the fines and infringements, it's on the government, the ASIC site. This stuff is on your local water department or Brisbane City Council sites, and it links to other things. They have to tell you that they're killing you to basically ease their conscience, their guilt. Okay, so we know that 99% of it is ingested or absorbed by your family. So we leave here, we go home, we stick our kids in a hot bath of poison. Okay, so what we decided to do was to join us and ask you guys to join us in a class action against fluoride, but on a completely different angle and a strategic tack that has never been trialled before, and I just had this conversation with the MP who is going to support us. And we have 3 MPs, although one of them, I don't know if anyone knows this, is that, has anyone heard of Anne Bressington from South Australia? Okay, she did the awesome clip about Agenda 21 and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so Anne's been missing for nearly a month. So no one knows where she is. There's now rumours that she's lost her mind and living in Indonesia. So no one knows where she is. So if you do know, please let us know. But in particular, the barrister, Jerry, has got a case against the South Australian government in Parliament against the cops. And the cops assaulted an Aboriginal and went into Parliament armed, which is an offence. So Jerry and the Aboriginal are suing the police for breach of, and it's a very serious breach to take firearms into the Parliament under their system. Anne is a material witness in that case. They can't find her. I don't know what happened. So, okay, so Mark's given me the wind up. All we need to talk about this stuff is, it's actually 3 state MPs now. So Jerry is the barrister, the law firm, with the guys here, the Stone Group. We've also been talking in conjunction with them to larger law firms as well. So the strategy is this. We're not going to argue with them whether it's dangerous. We know it's dangerous. It's clearly evident on the bag. Just look at the bag. That should be evidence, exhibit number A. What we're talking about is the forced medication of the population. So if you wanted to be medicated and you're enjoying the fluoride, great. You don't have to do anything. If you want it out of the system, we have to band together. If we don't band together, an individual is not going to do this. First of all, you couldn't afford the legal case in their courts. We've got to join together. We're aiming to keep this as cheap as possible. I don't know if it's $200 or $1,000. I'd like it not to go over $1,000 for everyone if we can, but the more people, the more the cost comes down. So if we can get it down to, I don't know, $250 to $500 per family would be awesome, because what we're going to do is to tackle them on the basis of removing it from our water supply will cost approximately $15,000 per household. You forced it onto us. We didn't want it. We now have to remove it. You've forced us to remove it. So we are going to ask for compensation to remove it. So that's $15,000 to $20,000 per household to then be able to get the filtration system. We've got quotes. I've actually had a couple of people already come up to us and say, we do this and we can guarantee 100% removal of fluoride. Okay, awesome, submit the quote. So we'll go through that process. If and when we win, thin edge of the wedge, if there's compensation and damages for fluoride causing diseases and all the rest of it, that'll be a separate action. This is just to make sure that when I go home, I'm not putting my kids into this water, okay, your swimming pools, all the stuff, you're tipping more chlorine into it, all the things that we know. This is a way for us to quarantine ourselves, at least in our own little area, and then move forward and tackle the bigger picture into the state. So, interesting strategy. I think it's pretty good because I come up with it. It's a very interesting question. Okay, read the document. I know, and the first question is that real? Okay, for those that can't read it, I, Anna Bligh, the instigator of forced fluoridation in Queensland, give my personal guarantee that water fluoridation causes no adverse health effects. And in the event that it does, I will accept full liability and will provide financial compensation. So, the signatures, that's the state seal. That is Anna Bligh's signature. There are 6 witnesses on there. You might even see there's the phone number on there if you're smart enough to take a picture. That is 100% validated by the MP who was here, and he has the original document at his fingertips. So, she's a fool? Why would you do that? Well, here's the reason, because they're morons. If you're in the public eye as a politician, with the exception of the chap that was here as a moron, they're puppets. So what they do is they get told to do anything that the master tells them. So the master tells them to sign it, they sign it. What happened to her? She got cancer, and they moved her to Tasmania. She's gone. Was it non-lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease or something or other? So they don't care. She means nothing to them. You know, she was just a tool to use at the time, just like Newman is now. Don't go thinking he's an incredibly strategic thinker. He's not. He's a vacuous moron. So, he's a mate of Tony's, hence he's in there. So anyway, that's the angle and the tactic. There are obviously other strategies at work here and in play. We're not going to divulge what they are right now. All I need you to do is either fill out the form so that Cherie can put your email down there, the feedback form, or send an email to this address. Either way, it gets to me. And then what will happen is we're collating them. We have approximately, I would think, 150 names already. So this is going ahead, and you can either join us and be part of it and have it removed out of your water system, or not. Really is as simple as that. I'm going to leave you with this last one before I invite Mr. Darwin up to help. Not that I need his help. This is a very important statement. He's 34 years at the National Cancer Institute. In point of fact, fluoride causes more human cancer death, and it causes it faster than any other chemical. Okay, so that's fluoride. Mr. Darwin, would you like to join me on stage, please? Does that sound good? Does anyone put your hand up if you're interested in joining that class action? Yeah, sweet. So now if we've got another 100, we're there.